Thank you. If you will notice on your agenda at the back page which lists all the names, it also lists that at this meeting they have cards at the back somewhere. Roy, I think, has been engulfed. He's trying to get out back there. If you have questions, that's the way they've always handled it at the all-member meeting, is you write your questions down and they come up. Lisa's got the cards in the air, so if you have questions, then we'll deal with that towards the end. So if you'll take that into account. And we do appreciate you're all here. It's the day we look back on the last year and we celebrate the volunteers and all that they've done for us. And then we close an election and see who the new board members are going to be. So it's a very important day for us all. With that, we'll proceed to the handing out of the presentation of the fire and rescue check. So if Simon would come up. While he's on the way up, we'll have Jennifer establish the quorum. And Jennifer?
I confirm a quorum of members exists and remains because of the members present and by proxy. Further, I confirm proper notice was sent to all members of record.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right. Each year, the association awards a check for the fire and rescue for all the work they do and to help them with keeping the things going. He's all sharp and looking good there this morning. And again, this year, we present the check to the fire and rescue. We appreciate your work that you all do and what you bring to the community, and having you here helps everybody's insurance rate. So we definitely appreciate it. If I
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I was told I couldn't say anything, but most of you guys know me. I got to say something. So on behalf of the Lake of the Woods Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company, I thank the association and everybody out here for the continual support. We are honored to serve and volunteer the Lake of the Woods and the surrounding area for 46 of your 50 years that you've been in existence. Yeah, we celebrated our 46th birthday this year. I am just a figurehead in the background of all the dedicated volunteers that we have out there. We've got young, we've got old that want to serve their community. Keeping up with training, new requirements and infrastructure is expensive. For example, we had to spend $27,000 this year on a new stretcher for everybody. So it's expensive for us. We've had EMT classes here in Lake of the Woods. We've had firefighter training. We've had driver training and everything else like that. So again, one of the things that we continue to do is we're going to host a chili cook-off this year on September 30th from 3 o'clock till 8 o'clock. And then we're also going to be hosting a masquerade ball featuring the Fredericksburg Big Band. That's going to be hosted by our auxiliary on October the 28th. Go to our website, lowfr29.com, for anything else like that. With that, thank you very much for your continuous support, everybody.
don't like necessarily just sitting back up there. Get out here where I can see y'all. This is a great, great turnout. We'd like to, at this time, acknowledge the past presidents that are in the audience, that have been presidents of the board of directors. And if I missed somebody, Lee Frame is here. Neil Buttimer. Saw Neil come in. Doug Rogers. Jeff Flynn. There he is in the back. I missed him when he's coming in. Mike Ruggless. Did I miss anybody else? Did Bob? I didn't see him. Right here. Bob Schopp back there.
Al Sanborn.
Oh, there, Al Sanborn. Definitely Al. I'm sorry. Thank you. I even had that circled and I missed it. I would like to also point out that when we were calling and writing these people, Ed Harn's son called and said his father would not be able to make it, but he just turned 100 in July. So that speaks well for the past presidents, I think, that you have a long life to look forward to. 100 years of age, that's great. How many committee chairs do we have? Would they stand? All the committee chairs. I know I see Doug out there. I know there's Tom. There's Carrie. There's Joyce. There's Kathy. So any other committee chairs? We appreciate, John. So we appreciate all that you do with your committees, and that's what makes everything go for us. I also acknowledge the current board members and the work that they've done, and we'll talk more about them as we move forward. With I should never shortchange them. They've been such a hard-working group. With that, I'd like to make a few remarks and keep us moving because we have a large number of volunteers, which I think is great. And again, I thank you for being here. And this is the day we celebrate, as I said, the completion of the year. And it's also a time that we thank all the volunteers for their work. And as we look back on the year in review, it's been a real honor for me to serve as your president. I'm a mere shadow of myself, as they say, from when I started this a year ago. It seems like it's gone very quickly. When this board started, we started with 5 members coming on, an unprecedented number of elections, 4 of them who we called rookies, no previous board experience. And so we had a lot to do. At the same time, we started with 5 new operations managers. And Phil will go into that more. So there was a big learning curve for this board, just as we learned how to get along, how we were making decisions, and what was going on. This board really came together, and I thought by the end of the year we had a strong board, and we worked efficiently and effectively together as we went through all the myriad of issues that we faced. And those are key. I'd like to list just a couple of things that I think is what we've accomplished. Of course, first of all, this was the 50th anniversary year. So many things were going on. And we all look back at the resolutions. The Orange County Board of Supervisors, notice I listed that one first, Lee. A House of Representatives resolution, also celebrating our 50th year. We replaced the Sweetbriar Pool, which was blown up when they didn't put it away to bed right. And so we had to do that. We started the electronic voting, which you have participated in and should give us results later in the day. We can't get them immediately because we have our different rules about if the votes are within 20 or 30, we have to do recounts and those kind of things. But we'll know by Wednesday, probably tomorrow, we'll have the results of that. We had a new dwelling live to get people into the lake, which was something that we really are utilizing and still learning how to use. We had live streaming of the board meetings. Haven't had that before. Now my wife says she knows when the meetings are over, so I better be home right after that. No more card games after the board meeting anymore, because you can tell when we finish up. So these are some of the things. There's so many more. We determined a location of a dog park. As Joanne felt very proud, we worked on the vision, mission, value statements, which they started when she first came on the board a number of years ago, and we were able to get that done and complete that. We did the reconstituting of the Fairway Grill. We put the installation of the flashing yellow light. And Carolyn, in our communications department, has a new LOA website ready to go online very quickly. And I think you'll all be appreciative of that, be easier to maneuver in it. I think Layton's already talked about she can move around within the covenants and documents better than we ever could before. So these are all the different kind of things. And I thank each of the board members for their work, their dedication, for all the town halls, committee meetings, everything else that goes into meeting twice a month. And we tried to keep those down, though we did have one 5-hour meeting this year. And that was a special one. A special thank you to Carl, who I didn't mention at the first. Also for this year, we had 2 elections at the first to give Carl on his seat. So he had to run for it twice before he got him on. And now he's running again. We'll find out at the end of the election. So 3 times in a year has got to set a new record for us. So thanks, Carl, for working with us on all of that. Joanne, we can't say enough. She just corrected me again as I'd passed over Jennifer doing our quorum, and having the 2 of them by side of me to keep me straight and keep us on the agenda has been very rewarding for me, and as treasurer, it's been a very demanding job for Joanne. In closing, besides the few highlights I mentioned, and there were a lot more highlights that the group did, I want to say that this board feels very good, and I'm proud of in that we're closing the year in great financial status, and we're also closing the year with a clean audit. And there's nothing that makes you feel better than to have your audit come in that everything is going right. We're also proud of all of our work crews and how they keep the lake looking so good, and how they keep, and they're working and improving our lakes all the time in our lakes management reports. So those are some great things that we do. As I said before, we appreciate all the committees and the work that they've done, and we appreciate security and the vigilance that they've done, and Chief Walker, who does a great job with that. I'd like to thank at this point also the Honors and Awards Committee for the work they've done, as you'll see as we go through the day, all the things that they've done in going through the honors and all the applications and things for volunteer awards. And in closing, I would also like to thank Phil for being our general manager. This has done a great job, and we appreciate that. And what a segue as we move to Phil giving his annual report. Phil?
Good morning. Are we on? All right. Thank you, President Moreland and directors and members. It's my great honor to present the annual report here in our 50th year, our 50th anniversary. Yay! So each year we get together and we celebrate some of the accomplishments. We talk about our challenges. We get to hear about some great awards that some individuals and groups have done really well, and we always look forward to it. And I think everything we do, everything that the President has mentioned, is just a testament to the staying power of Lake of the Woods. We've been here 50 years, and I'm sure we'll be here 50 more. So President Moreland, he started off by talking about our finances, and he mentioned that we had our annual independent audit. And our independent auditors came in and looked at our books and gave us a unmodified opinion, which that means is a clean report, which is always what you want to get. And that's the highest level that they can give. And other aspects of our finances, 4 months into our year, into our fiscal year, our collections are on target. Our reserve cash is at $2.7 million, which is adequate to cover our $1.4 million capital expenses. And our operating cash is also at $2.7 million, which is adequate to cover operations and maintenance. So we're in good shape in that respect. Most departments and amenities are on track for their budgets, and our assessment delinquencies have yearly been about 1.9%. They've been under 2%, and industry standard is 5%. So LOA is much better at that, about getting collections in. Let's talk about our homes and our population. LOA remains the largest concentration of homes and population in Orange County, with 3,815 completed homes. This is the first year we've gone over 3,800. I always used to just kind of round off and say we've got about 3,800 homes. Well, we've got 3,815 and growing out of the 4,256 private lots. We're 23% of the county population, and we are pretty sure we exceed the 2015 estimate of 7,926 full-time residents, especially on busy holidays like this one. You know we're up there. Our lot count is 4,256, but it will increase by 1 in the next few months because LOA is selling one of its old well lots to create another lot and create another member that can pay into the association. It always helps to have one more hand, you know. Our housing stock is a key indicator of a healthy community, right? What do the houses look like in here? And so it's good news that in May 2016 to April 2017, the Environmental Control Committee approved 34 new home construction projects. That was down 5 from the previous year, and approved 124 renovations project, which was up 20 from the year before. And our finance department, another measure we use is resale packages. We had 316 resale packages, and the same time last year we had 10 less. So a very busy year as far as construction goes in the community. Our president talked about the board goals, and I won't recite all those again. He did a great job of there. You see the summary of it right there. One highlight, of course, was Sweetbriar Pool. Getting it back open on time was a big accomplishment. And of course, the 50th anniversary celebration was really great. And really, I think we've had a great year so far. I did want to let you know that the board did make some changes along the way. They adopted a five-year capital plan, and they amended the lower regulations to update pool rules because we had a diving board and a slide again, so we had to get some new rules there. And also to have some rules to prevent aquatic invasive species, which we want to keep out of our lakes. When we look back at the year, what are we going to be proud of? Well, we're going to be proud of the 50th anniversary events, orchestrated by our maestro up here, John Anderson, our chair. We have, yay, John. Hey, Dante, go ahead and advance that a few. There we go. And that's one of the projects that's on the block to talk about is our clubhouse area project. But back to the 50th, we had the Ravons concert in February. We had the Proclamation Gala in April. We had the 5K race in May, and Independence Day fireworks, which were enhanced this year in July. And there's much more to come, and it'll be capped off by the tree lighting ceremony at Christmas time. Okay, list of capital projects of note. It's led by, as I said, Sweetbriar Pool. It opened on May 27th, right on time, which we were happy about. It was right on schedule, right on budget, and it was Fun Central this summer. If you didn't see what was going on out here, it was pretty incredible. And it's got a zero depth entry ramp, which means we don't have to have a lift anymore. It's got a waiting area for tots, which is very busy. It's got the 6 swim lanes. It's got a diving board and a slide. And also of note this year, is we completely replaced the clubhouse fire suppression sprinkler system. So that's a much safer building than it was. And we also built forward tees on the golf course. So if you're a beginner or you're a senior and you want a little advantage, maybe get up on those forward tees and hit away. So that's much better, we think. As for personnel, the president mentioned there are some pretty big changes. Let me go through some of the significant ones. We hired Assistant General Manager Chester Guzik. Is Chester here? I think Chester's getting ready for our cookout afterwards. So I hope you stay for the cookout. He replaced Dave Heiser. Clubhouse Manager Ryan Richardson replaced Joey Welsh. Roy Mayberry, Roy's here. He's behind the glass in the back, waving at us. Was promoted to Finance Director, replacing retiring Larry Cole. And Lori Doan, I think Lori's here. There she is in the back. She's our new accounting manager. She replaces Roy. Equestrian Operations Manager Bridget Hutchins replaced Kara Potter, and Communications Manager Carolyn Brodeur replaced Melanie Parmalee. Okay, let's talk about communications. Communications and IT. Communications completed 2 major projects this year. There's Carolyn's face. We have the new LOA.org website that will be launched on September 6th, so be sure and check that out. And we have a contract videographer providing new and improved programming for Channel 18. He's right there at the camera. You can see Norm. And now Channel 18 is fully integrated on our website via YouTube. So Carolyn and her communications team continue to send out important information to you with Lake Currents, Channel 18, and LOA.org. And our social media presence has really grown, and we see more members using that. We're reaching out to more members that way as we go along. There's the website page. And one thing on the next slide, one of our most popular pictures this year was a picture in April when the oak tree fell on the clubhouse roof. 464 people reacted to that picture. So challenges ahead are to market our amenities. We want members to enjoy and use the amenities, and to come up with methods and tools for increasing communication from the association of members and also member to member. All right, on the IT front, Patrick O'Laughlin, he's here. Patrick's here somewhere. Is he in the back room, or is he out here? Pat, there's his face right there. You know him if you see him. He's our IT coordinator, and he's keeping all our computers and phones running and our point of sale equipment at the restaurants, but also our surveillance cameras. So got to keep those going too. Those really help deter crime. He was instrumental in getting our Dwelling Live Visitor Management System going, which started in December, and he also helped us deploy some new surveillance cameras and get out our new photo ID cards. So if you don't have your photo ID cards, we mainly had people get them for the amenities this summer, but we hope over the course of the year starting into next May, you'll get your new photo ID, and that'll be very helpful at the gate and when you go to the amenities. Okay, let's talk about security. The emphasis on security is always to get people through the front gate as efficiently as possible, make sure they're really invited guests and get them in, and also to work with the sheriff, very much so, on reducing crime and vandalism wherever it might be in the community. And this year we hosted our first National Night Out, which was a wildly successful, and we hope to do that year after year. VDOT completed the flashing yellow signal and turn lane on Route 3 at Low Way, and that's really helped. It mainly helps during low and moderate traffic times, but there's just so much traffic that can come through this little area at the front gate at one time, so in heavy times it doesn't help as much. So how many cars do you think come through our gates in one year? It's pretty incredible. 2.41 million cars came through the gates this year. Y'all are just coming in and out all the time, I know it. But that was up 20,000 vehicles at the back gate. The front gate stayed about the same at 1.9 million. We'll probably crack 2 million pretty soon at the front gate. But 1.9 came through the front gate, and the rest came through the back gate. We think a lot of that has to do with construction in the area. There's a lot of tradesmen coming in and out, and that's really adding to it. So we hope you folks will keep using Dwelling Live to check in your guests. That's an efficient way to get them in instead of calling. We want you to pick up your phone and use the app and check in your guests. All right, let's keep moving. Chief Scott Walker, we saw his face earlier. He's with Allied Universal. They're in their 5th year. He has emphasized good customer service. He wants to make sure that they're very present. Their officers are very present on the road and on the lake. And I hope you agree that they're doing a good job. During the course of the year, we said goodbye to our former finance director, Larry Cole. He's just back among the membership here at LOA after 6 years of service, and we welcomed in Roy Mayberry. Roy and his team, including Laurie Doan, had a busy year at Holcomb with a heavy property transfer activity. In the last 12 months, we had 325 properties change hands. Just think about all those new members that are out there now. The association was able to fully fund our unrestricted operating cash based on the provisions of a policy that the board approved. And that was 2 years ahead of schedule. So as far as operating cash goes, we're very strong. And the team supported the board's annual effort to update the replacement reserve study and continued to hold delinquencies down below 2%. And that's something we've done for the last 3 years. And also helped implement the electronic voting, which that's why Roy's here today, to help with electronic voting, and also with the Dwelling Live launch. And challenges for the future: keep that delinquency rate below 2%, advise the board on how to absorb the loss of income from the tenant fee. We don't have as many tenants in the community as we used to. Owners are living in their properties more these days, so it affects us on that fee, but it also is good for use of the amenities. We hope that members will use the amenities more. And of course, we want to keep that, manage that budget and keep it in line. All right, let's talk about maintenance. Our facilities director, Jessica Graves, there she is, takes great pride in maintaining the dams and lakes, as well as roads, parks, and buildings. Veterans Dam and Keaton's Dam, how are they doing? Well, they're in great shape. They had their annual inspection by a licensed engineer, and they're excellent condition, which is what you want to hear since we're a lake of the woods, right? The buildings division has done a lot for energy conservation, and that's really paying off in savings in our annual budget. The grounds division, I think they've done an excellent job this year of beautifying some different spots. Yes? Yes? I'm hearing some loud applause from Garden Club members out there too. And, you know, yay, Garden Club. And you know, that's really nice here in the 50th year to look so beautiful. And the roads crew, they're staying on track with the chip and tar program. One of the big challenges this year is we've got a section of Lakeview Parkway near Shoesmith that's breaking down a little sooner than it should, and we're going to have to get on that and replace a section of Lakeview, and we thought that was going to last another 10 years. So that's a challenge ahead. Health of the lakes. Okay, health of the lakes, that's kind of an overarching great concern. And Environmental Resources Manager Bobby Jones, there's Bobby. You usually see him out on his boat on the main lake, right? And along with Erosion and Sediment Inspector Michael Barnett are leading the concentrated effort to combat nitrogen and phosphorus that are 3 times the EPA standard at Keaton's and 2.5 times the EPA standard in the main lake. Keaton's Lake water clarity, though, has continued to improve. And I hope you on the Little Lake see that. And but we feel like we still have a lot of work to do still. And the Keaton's Run Forebay, we also call it Eastover Park. I think that's our next slide there. That was completed in February, and it's removing a lot of sediment and nutrients before they reach the lake, the ones that are coming off the battlefield. And it's projected to remove 1.76 tons a year of sediment. So that's a lot of sediment that doesn't have to be scooped out by our operator at the lake. All right, as far as lakes management improvement goes, for the main lake, we had hoped to build a forebay at the back gate area, but the area is just too constrained there where the spillway is, where Flat Run comes in, and we're going to have to come up with another approach. But in the meantime, we're repairing the ditches along the streets in that area to help reduce the sediment coming into the main lake. And in fact, once that's done, we'll have already completed 9 miles of the 23 miles of ditches in the community. And so in the 5 years of the program, that's about 39% of the 23 miles. And just one thing to keep in mind, for every 1 mile reconstructed, if it's operating properly, it'll remove 54 tons of sediment a year. So we want to keep all that out of the lakes, and we'll be much more better for it. All right, community center. Sylvia Zielinski. Wait till she finds out how many people are in her building today, huh? She's gonna flip out. But she does a great job with her team hosting several special events. She had 36,455 people come in and out of this building this year. Man, she's off to a great start this year too, huh? And it's attributed to something unusual, the sport du jour, pickleball. Pickleball is the new craze. You're on the pickleball court here. And I'm sure there's some people probably waiting out here for you to leave so they can come in and play. They're just so excited about their sport. Anyway, as far as pickleball goes, we're going to have 6 new outdoor courts at Hollyfield Park on the old tennis courts 1 and 2. But also we're going to refurbish 4 and 5 and 6 and 3, 4, 5, and 6 are going to get redone and repainted, so they'll be nice, and we'll continue to have tennis. We'll just also have pickleball out there as well. We had the summer concert series. I hope some of you got out for the summer concert series. And we had 4 concerts to date. They've been really great, terrific, different kinds of music. We've got 1 more to go on September 15th. It's free, and the sponsors pick up the tab, so that it's really enjoyable. Our junior tennis clinic hosted 31 participants. We've got 808 families in the fitness center, and the Community and Youth Activities Committee hosted 8 events, including 4 movie nights and a back-to-school party. End of school party. Yeah, that's better, end of school party. Please join us at the Art Show and Wine event in September, the annual treats on the Clubhouse Point for Halloween, and the Chris Kindlebark in this building in December. Challenges ahead are related to the board's pending decisions on the Clubhouse Pool Fitness Center building. Our golf maintenance, let's talk about golf a minute. There's Ray's picture. IGM is our golf maintenance contractor, and they've been here since 2005. And Mike Kuhn is the superintendent, and his crew does a great job. I've heard the course is looking maybe the best it's looked. It's really beautiful out there. Go out and take a look. And as far as operations go, Ray and his team report that we've had 17,347 rounds for the last fiscal year, and that's down from the year before. But we're still optimistic that golf's going to keep going well this year. And our annual membership is 131, slightly lower than past 136, but still a solid number. And the immediate challenges, of course, is get those rounds of golf in and to fill up afternoon times with Virginia State Golf Association play and Golf Now tee times. We continue to promote play by trying to improve the physical aspects of the course. We've removed some trees and done some tree trimming, and as I mentioned earlier, built the 4 tees. Golf is proud that they hosted 3 junior golf camps, because we want to keep those golfers coming up through the line, right? With 29 participants. And they also hosted a PGA Junior Golf League with 14 children. And they, of course, host many tournaments during the year, and they've got a big one coming up, Schützenfest. Last year had 108 golfers, 2,000 plus participants, and the Lowenbrow Oompa Band. So don't miss that. You got to come out for that. And the 7th annual Schützenfest is October 21st, so make sure that's on your calendar. Have you been to Fairways Cafe lately? Apparently a lot of you have, because they're doing very well. They're very popular, and they're exceeding revenue expectations. And we're cooking with gas there these days. We switched from electrical. We were pretty constrained. Somebody said they tried to plug in their phone to charge it up, and the whole thing blew. So, you know, it was tight there for a while. But we've got gas service there now, and that's really helping. We got gas appliances. It means we can expand the menu. It means we can serve more people, larger groups. So I hope you'll come out to Fairways. It'll also mean that we can expand and do more. And we've got karaoke, we've got Monday Night Football, we've got open mic night, and we've got Norm Allen on Wednesday nights. So you might want to come out for Norm. So the shift manager's there, yes, clap, clap. You see Carletta's picture, and you see Chester. He's been over there quite a bit. Carletta Johnson, Jen Bailey, and Douglas Semmerling are the shift managers, and they and their staff look forward to serving you. So please come on by. And we hope someday in the near future we can construct an addition onto the kitchen and add a walk-in cooler, because apparently people like to drink some beer over there at the golf course too, so we want to make sure we have some over there too, cold beer. All right, let's talk about Clubhouse. In May we said farewell to our longtime Clubhouse manager Joey Welsh, and she's still in the community, but we said hello to Ryan Richardson, who stepped into that role. And the Clubhouse team had another excellent year. They broke $1 million again in revenue for the 5th time. And the Clubhouse served 48,364 meals. Now that was down 9,000 from the year before, and we attribute that to 2 things. We were closed for an extended period for the sprinkler system to be installed, and we also, this Fairways phenomenon started up, and people went over there and spent some money too. So we hope both our restaurants will do well in the coming months. The Clubhouse hosts several events, like our annual open house. We hope you'll come out for that. And Ryan has introduced some new menus. He's got a new menu that came out this week, and he had the summer raw bar offerings that were very popular. And Chef Robert is concentrating on fresh ingredients, homemade recipes, house-made recipes, and lowering food costs. And challenges ahead, we want to install a new point-of-sale system that we can transact business right there at the table side, and that'll help with our efficiency. All right. Let's talk about equestrian. We're right toward the end. There's our new manager, Bridget Hudgens, along with assistant manager Melissa Zukowski, and the Equestrian Center staff cares for our 12 equines. We have 6 slow horses and 6 boarded equines, which includes Ginger, the mule. That's why we said equines, because we've got a mule. Okay, and out there, if you went out there today, you would see the construction taking place of the covered ring project that's going to cover the small arena, and that should be complete in October. And what that'll do for us is it'll improve the quality of programs all the way around, because it'll give us a weather-resistant area for teaching and exercising and hosting pony rides and warm up for shows. And that should translate more into fall and spring riding as you know, and we'll have less weather cancellations. We had a lot of weather cancellations this summer. And we still had 46 children in the summer pony camps. and we had 20 students taking riding lessons on a regular basis. 2 of our horses and riders participated in the Independence Day Parade, and a bunch of children and families marched along with them. We still have, we had 4 hunter horse shows this season, and we still have 1 more to go on October 14th. If you've never seen one, come on out. Loa is currently in first place in the race for High Point Trainer, High Point Rider, and our horses Patton and Prescott are in first and third respectively for High Point Horse. Yeah. So, challenges ahead are updating the lower barn siding and adding more classes, after-school programs once we get the covered ring built. Okay, so wrapping up, let me say to the Board of Directors, thank you for all your good work and your partnership with management and staff this year. We really appreciate your dedicated service to our community. I want to give my best to Joanne Zwickel and to Carl Clausen for their great year. Congratulations on your term of service. Carl, good luck to you today. We'll see what the turnout is. And I want to say also thanks to the management team and the Operations Center managers who help all of it work. I mean, I can't do this all by myself. We're a team that works really well together. And let me just give you some of the names of the people. Chester Guzik, Assistant GM. Roy Mayberry, Finance Director. Jessica Graves, Finance Facilities Director. Bobby Jones, Environmental Resources Manager. Ray Hargraves, Golf Operations Manager. Sylvia Zielinski, Community Operations Manager. Bridget Hutchins, Equestrian Center Manager. Carolyn Brodeur, Communications Manager. Ryan Richardson, Clubhouse Manager. Scott Walker, Chief of Security, Allied Universal. Mike Kuhn, Golf Superintendent from IGM. Patrick O'Laughlin, Information Technology Coordinator. Lori Trocchio, right there on the right, Administrative Assistant to the GM and basically the mortar that holds the Holcomb building together. And Faye Muller, our Legal and Compliance Clerk. Yes. And finally, thank you to the members. Thank you for all the feedback that you give us on how we're running your community. It's your community. Please tell us how you want it to be managed and run. And may the next 50 years of LOA be as fulfilling as the first 50. Thank you very much for your attention.
Add a couple of comments to that. One, the board would be really lost if we didn't have Lori. She does such a great job up there, and I didn't say anything about her, and I should have. And as relative to, I can't wait. I have a grandson that's about to get old enough to come over for the pony camps, and so we're really looking forward to that. And now I wanted to put a final plug in on the Sweetbriar Pool for our Barracuda swim team, which brought back the championship this year. So, great things happening. Well, if I screw up this next introduction, I'm in big trouble. The Honors and Awards chairperson will now take care of the rest of the program, Joyce Moreland.
Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to the 2017 Honors Award presentation. I'm Joyce Moreland, Chair of the Honor Awards Committee. Let me introduce the Honor Awards Committee members. Joanne Buttimer is Vice Chair, Connie LeMay, Secretary, Karen Kavarik, Carolyn Graham, Claudia Lowe, and Jenny Toms. President Moreland is our board liaison. Our photographer today is Dick Durfee, assisted by his wife, Carolyn. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for being with us today to celebrate wonderful volunteerism of people living here at Lake of the Woods. Every day in communities across this country, people raise their hands to help their friends and neighbors. It may be reading to a child or delivering a hot meal, helping with home repairs or cleaning a park. In ways small and large, people are out in their communities and doing their part to assist friends and neighbors, and on many occasions, complete strangers. These folks are our volunteers, people who choose to give their time, skills, and energy to benefit other people for their common good of all, and without being paid for it. This certainly describes the people we are recognizing today, but there are so many more also deserving. It is because of all the people who volunteer that we have the thriving community we live in. This morning, we will be presenting awards to 32 well-deserving volunteers who live here in Lake of the Woods. Thank you to all those who recognized and nominated these good people for what they do to make our community a better place. And recipients, when you come forward and receive your award, then please step back to the back of the room and have your picture taken with your award. But in the element of time, we ask that you forego any speeches. Let's get started. A certificate of appreciation is awarded for services and/or accomplishments to benefit the Lake of the Woods community. The public libraries of the United States remain a bastion of free knowledge and information and entertainment. In Orange County, we boast an active library system. Lake of the Woods is fortunate to have the Wilderness Branch serving all of Orange County right outside our back gate. Our library is especially gifted with an active children's and youth service. To maintain this invaluable institution, the Wilderness Library has been blessed with hard-working volunteers, many of whom are residents of Lake of the Woods. They assist the staff by cleaning and shelving materials, pulling materials to fill patrons' holding lists, and pull items for review by the librarians. They search shelves for overdue items, organize, process, and repair library materials. Our wish is that the Wilderness Library will place this certificate of appreciation in an open and visible location for all patrons to see and recognize that our Lake of the Woods Wilderness Library volunteers work cheerfully and selflessly many hours a week to keep our public library service vibrant. Would Karen Kavarik please come forward to receive this award on behalf of the Lake of the Woods Wilderness Library volunteers?
No speech, I promise, but a thought for the day. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body.
All the plans is gone. Our next recipient has faithfully served our community through her involvement in many clubs and activities. She has been involved in multiple ways with the Equestrian Club. She is a committee member, has been a committee officer, and often works at equestrian events. In addition, she has been regularly involved in the fundraising activities for the Lake of the Woods Fire and Rescue Department. She participates in costume design and the sewing of costumes for most low-player productions, as well as with their ticket sales. For her faithful involvement in the Lake of the Woods, would Sandy Frame please come forward? Our next recipient has lived at Lake of the Woods for 33 years. She is skilled in all aspects of sewing, needlework, quilting, and knitting, and for the past 21 years has taught classes and assisted many community members in also learning these skills. She organized a club, named it the Closet Quilters, and has motivated its members to stay active and involved. As a club, they have contributed to the yearly Visual Arts Craft Show, participated in the Lake of the Woods Bazaar to benefit the youth of Lake of the Woods Church, and used their projects for gifts to people in need. For services to the Lake of the Woods community, would Maureen Hawkins please come forward? One of the most precious types of volunteerism is doing for others, be it family or friends. Our next recipient is not just appreciated for her service to the clubs and organizations she participates in, but for her steadfast reliability to those who need help and guidance. She has always taken pride in what she has done and made doing for others her top priority. As a member of the Lake of the Woods Garden Club, and during an extremely difficult and emotional time in her life, she maintained her duties as treasurer to the club, making sure her reports were complete and accurate, necessary people notified, and in the event of her absence, her office responsibilities covered. Loretta Laterra, please come forward to accept this certificate. During the past 10 years, our next recipient contributed his expertise to work within the lake on the development of quality management guides, goals, and strategies for long-range planning and understanding strategic planning. Most recently, he led a 3-day Board of Directors retreat on setting values, missions, and visions. His experience in this area and his knowledge of the workings and statements from various companies worldwide brought a wider perception to the board on these issues as they worked together to establish a vision and mission for the Lake of the Woods. In June, his expertise enabled a group of 7 board volunteers with widely varying ideas come together in agreement on the Lake of the Woods mission and vision statements. This goes to Serge Ugranovich, but he's not feeling well. So Diane, is it? Being informed is so valuable in our democratic process. It is important that we hear and learn from all sides of the podium. The political clubs here at the Lake of the Woods serve the community by exposing voters to a variety of candidates and ideas important to both our community and to the Commonwealth of Virginia. Our next recipient has been heavily involved in scheduling speakers and coordinating these venues for our community. She has chaired fundraisers and served on the board of the Susan Allen Republican Women's Club. She served on the Lake of the Woods nominating committee and has been an active member of the Daughters of American Revolution. For her citizenship and patriotism, would Barbara Strain please come forward? The Outstanding Service Award recognizes accomplishments or performance of duty beyond what is ordinarily expected of volunteers. Our next recipient combines science, aesthetics, and technique to communicate spatial information effectively. He is our cartographer. He makes maps. Maps important enough to our community that they are embraced by the Lake of the Woods Fire and Rescue Department, Allied Security, and the Lake of the Woods Administration. He provides maps that affect individual members of the community. They are annually updated and printed by section in the Lake of the Woods directory to keep us all from getting lost. Separate maps are prepared for the Neighborhood Watch organization with the locations of Neighborhood Watch captains and its members identified. He has created maps identifying walking trails and detailed distances and topography. He has improved the Lake of the Woods Realtors Open House Tour by creating a special map that includes the address, selling price, and location of each house on the tour. He creates a map for the Lioness Holiday House Tour and the Garden Club Open House, identifying where each house is located and the logical route to follow to see them. He accepts each task cheerfully, although he does threaten to increase his fee from naught to double naught. He is a devoted volunteer and provides a service extremely beneficial to our community. Russ Ambrosiak. Our next recipient has been involved in many clubs and activities in Lake of the Woods since she and her family moved here in 2013. She started out in the Lioness Club, working in many capacities, assisting low-income people at Germanna Heights Apartments, helping organize the Lioness Golf Tournament in 2015, setting up the Link to Feed computer and check-in system for the Wilderness Lion and Lioness Food Pantry. Her efforts have enabled the registration and distribution process to move more efficiently, and she continues to work tirelessly at the pantry with kindness, compassion, and humor. She is active in the Ladies Golf Association, a member of the Lake of the Woods Questers Club, and a devoted daughter to her parents who live here at the lake. All this, and she still works as a preschool teacher in Northern Virginia and as a registered nurse. She certainly exemplifies the Lioness motto, "We serve." Nikki Buell, would you please come forward? Is Nikki here? Oh, well, we'll get it to her, I promise. Our next recipient has been a volunteer videographer and editor for Channel 18 for 11 years. He records the Lake of the Woods Board of Directors meeting every third month as part of the rotating group. He has videotaped the lake's annual Independence Day parade for the past 5 years and headed the editing process to produce the Channel 18 review of holiday events. When needed, he fills in to tape other presentations, AARP, Civic Club, and the Low Veterans Club. On a weekly basis, he records and edits the Tips from the Pro, Channel 18 Golf Series with our PGA Pro, Ray Hargraves. He handles Channel 18 infomercials, which features clips about what's new and what to buy at low amenities like the Clubhouse, Fitness Center, and Fairways Cafe. These infomercials run after every Channel 18 program and is helpful in highlighting our amenities and their services. Before this, he served a full 3-year term on the board of directors and on several LOA committees. As a volunteer, he provides truly valuable and consistent volunteer administrative level services for Channel 18's communication outreach to Lake of the Woods community members. Ken Burnett, would you please come forward? This recipient has a wide variety of interests and talents, and since he doesn't sit still for too long, he seems to be ever present in community events and always willing to lend his talents to Lake of the Woods and its organizations. He helped build bluebird boxes with the Woodworkers Club that were installed on the lake golf course. He helped build and strike many sets for the low players and is an active member of AARP. He has had many leadership roles in the Friends of the Wilderness Battlefield, including being a member of its board of directors. He led in the refurbishing of the Fruiter Barn, where all equipment and supplies are stored for Elwood House. And he's participated in other projects at Elwood, such as the complete reconstruction of the railing on the front porch to exactly replicate the original one and to repair the wood flooring on the front porch. And he is a regular member of the ground crew of Elwood. On top of all of this, he does a great do-si-do in the Lake Square Dance Club. Would Gil Churchill please come forward? Our next recipient is a great leader with a can-do attitude and an infectious smile that inspires all who work with her. She has been an active member of the Pools Committee and Clubhouse Committee and speaks out on behalf of both. She has been a Lake of the Wood Lioness member for 14 years, and during that tenure she has served as president and held positions on the Lioness Board and chaired many of their fundraising committees with great success. The Lioness Flea Market, the Fashion Show, the Silent Auction Basket Displays, the Holiday House Tour, and Casino Nights. She works as a food pantry volunteer and for many years choreographed the grandstand show for the Lionesses who marched in the 4th of July parade. We are fortunate to have such a fun and hardworking, effective, and enthusiastic lady in our community, Carol Greeny. For a number of years, this next gentleman has worked tirelessly on numerous volunteer projects around the Lake of the Woods. He helped organize and then directed the Warden Program, precursor to the current Neighborhood Watch. He has been active in many other groups in and out of Lake of the Woods. Most recently, he has dedicated his time and effort into a project related to the safety and security of our residents. He has sought private support and on his own developed an individual worker kit that can be borrowed by any charitable group or individual in the lake willing or interested in undertaking the project of roadside house numbers. This project provides posts with house numbers for placement at houses without them or for replacing ones that are fallen over and no longer visible. His effort will allow security and our fire and rescue to arrive at a home more quickly should an emergency arise. For his contribution that benefits the general welfare of our Lake of the Woods community, would Don Jackson please come forward? If asked to describe this multi-talented nominee, it would be that she is generous and she is humorous. She is the kind of volunteer any organization covets. She has a limited vocabulary, and when asked to do something, she says, okay, I can do that. And then she does, and with enthusiasm, punctuality, and excellence. Her background as a teacher, librarian, and public speaker has prepared her to provide inspiring and just plain fun programs to AARP, local libraries, churches, and other groups. If there were a Mark Twain Award for humor given here at the Lake of the Woods, she would get it. She's that entertaining. She has a repertoire of talks she has researched and created and which she freely offers. And she often narrates holiday programs at the Lake of the Woods Church or provides a Sunday message for residents of the Germanna Apartments. Her skill as a writer has been displayed in articles promoting the Lake of the Woods Visual Arts Council and AARP. She serves on the Friends of the Library Board and is an active member of the Lions Club. Add generous hospitality to her list of accomplishments, because she extends an open invitation to all groups she participates in to meet in her spacious home. Would you please come forward, Madeline Salustri? Over the past few years, our next recipient has shared and spread his love of one of the country's most popular and fastest growing sports, pickleball, to members of the Lake of the Woods. He recruits, teaches, and mentors anyone interested in this sport. He volunteers his time weekly to offer lessons and teach newbies how to play and play correctly. He encourages, praises, and supports players as they advance in the game. He wants them to be as good as they can be. Probably somewhere between 100 and 125 members of the Lake of the Woods have joined in this sport, stayed active, and progressed toward upward levels of play. He watches them like a proud father. For service to our community, this alone qualifies for recognition. But from the standpoint of promoting health, exercise, and eye-hand coordination and new friendships, this nominee's generosity is the epitome of what volunteerism is all about. Greg Stoner. Please come forward. The Outstanding Youth Award is given to a youth 18 years and under who is a credit to the community and a good example for other youth. As a country and community, we too often hear negativity about our teens, but happily not all of the time. One of our own is such a teen. This young person, while mowing a neighbor's yard, spotted a $50 bill. It didn't fall out of his pocket, so it must belong to the owners of the house whose yard he was mowing. But they only carried $20 bills, so it wasn't theirs. Because of his honesty and credible behavior, they told him to keep the money, plus they paid him for mowing. Other areas of his life reinforced the recipient's leadership, responsibility, and courtesy. He is a member of the Governor's School of Orange County High School, has taken sailing classes here at Lake of the Woods, and is now one of the counselors that helps train new young sailors learn the skill. He loves computer classes and has taught himself to play the guitar. He used to volunteer with his grandmother when she was active with the Bridges Association. Because his accomplishments exceed expectations, his efforts and services are a credit to our community. He reflects a spirit of caring, and he sets a great example for all youth. This man is worthy of our Outstanding Youth Award. Ethan Ewing, please come forward. The Distinguished Service Award recognizes accomplishments of high significance to Lake of the Woods, which have major impact on the general welfare or meets a major need within the lake community. Our next recipient was the first administrator for a small group that wanted to serve or assist the elderly or physically disadvantaged residents living here at Lake of the Woods. Through her initial efforts, a new volunteer organization, LowLink, evolved and has grown to reach and impact our community in amazing ways. While many residents recognize the need for a service like this, few envisioned how quickly a person or family could see a positive change in the quality of life of a person because of it. The strength of its impact on our community has been huge, and because of her, LowLink has become a star of its own. Thank you, Mary Jane Atwater, for your visit. Would you please come forward? Our next recipient has been a leader in the Lake of the Woods Lions Club that supports community programs to help those in need. He supports Habitat for Humanity and Catholic charities by providing furniture at no cost. He encourages members of the lake to donate unwanted furniture and is personally involved in the Lions Club furniture pickups. He can be found every Saturday morning assisting customers at the Lioness Yard Sale. As a member of the Lake of the Woods Finance Committee, he supported our community through his financial skills and been involved in every budget preparation activity since 2012. He was a key player in assisting the proposed golf maintenance contract in support of the Lake Planning Committee and is currently the AARP Driver Safety Management Information System Data Manager for all of Virginia, and with the responsibility of facilitating the AARP driver training program. Norm Bielmeier, would you please come forward? The next nominees are a couple who have individually and jointly represented Lake of the Woods in Orange County as well as in the lake committees and clubs. They regularly work at the Orange County Visitors Bureau at the depot on the town of Orange and have done so for several years. They have been active in the Orange County Triad for 11 years, she a vice president of the 5-county Triad during part of that time. For 4 years, they worked part-time with Guardian Alert 911, an alert system to summon first responders, and they both were involved in File of Life, Yellow Dot, and the Emergency Lights program. Together, they worked with Orange County investigators to develop and bring the Citizens Police Academy to Orange County, and both of them participated in active shooter scenarios. They have volunteered at the VA Medical Center in Richmond, providing guidance and information to veterans and visitors of hospitalized veterans. He is a member of the Commission to Honor, Plan, and Develop Activities for World War II Veterans in Orange County, a past member of the Safety and Security Committee, the past president of our AARP chapter, the Low Veterans Club, the CIRA, and a member of the Low Veterans Final Salute Honor Squad. And she works monthly for the Lions Club Eyeglass Recycling Program. Dick and Kathleen Brady, would you please come forward? Our next recipient has been the inspiration and motivating force behind the establishment of the Living Waters Community Clinic at the Locust Grove Town Center. This provides free primary health care to persons without insurance or without the means to afford care, as well as free counseling. The original clinic in Orange had clientele from the Lake of the Woods, but they had to drive more than 20 miles to receive care. This new clinic is closer, more convenient, and not just for Lowe's residents, but for residents who need care in all of eastern Orange County and surrounding area. His determined and untiring work has brought together a strong coalition of individuals and organizations, including the local medical community, to make this important resource available to those who need it. What began as a vision, the clinic has become not only a life-affirming asset to those it serves, but a source of pride and unity for the whole community. Adam Colson, would you please come forward to accept this award? We'll see that Adam Colson gets this award to him. Our next recipient thrives on the feeling of seeing the community come together as he watches grandparents and parents and children line the streets to watch our Lake of the Woods Independence Day Parade, and he knows that others find their happy place as a parade participant. His pay is seeing their smiles and hearing their laughter. He has been the chair of the veteran-sponsored Independence Day Parade for 4 years. Each year presented new challenges, but our 2017 parade presented unique issues that he effectively managed. This parade celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Lake of the Woods in conjunction with the Independence Day holiday. It was the largest and longest parade in the history of Lake of the Woods and required a lot of meetings. Coordination of the various clubs and outside organizations that were participating, as well as coordination with security, the director of facilities, and the general manager. This was all very time-consuming. He has been president of the Lions Club, where he was instrumental in starting programs for both Orange County High School and for people with needs in Orange County. As a Lion, he can be spotted at the Verona building on Saturday mornings at their weekly Lions Yard sale. And recently, he was recognized and awarded the Melvin Jones Fellowship Award for dedicated humanitarian services by the Lions Club International Foundation. Please come forward, Stan Lassover, to receive this. When our next recipient moved to the Lake of the Woods 23 years ago and began volunteering her musical talent, her friends and colleagues said, "You're just the person we've been looking for." Word spread quickly of her musical gift, and soon she was best known as a pianist for the Lakers singing group. In that capacity, she supported the group's over 600 appearances throughout Fredericksburg and all of Orange County, Culpeper, Richmond, Charlottesville, and more. She and the Lakers were wonderful and talented goodwill ambassadors for our lake. Even now, she continues to play the piano at many community occasions, including the Lake of the Woods Players, soloist in concerts, weddings, funerals, and with fundraising events. At 91 years young, she continues to give much of her time to enhance the beauty of Lake of the Woods. To any words of praise, she simply says, "It's what I do." Irene Robinson. Our next nominee has made many contributions to clubs and organizations here at Lake of the Woods. She is an active member of the Child Help Auxiliary, where she assisted the Duffel Bag Project for 8 years, a member of the Garden Club, and has been endorsed by the Virginia Federation of Garden Clubs as a flower show judge, a member of the Lake of the Woods Church, volunteering to usher to be a reader during services as needed, a volunteer for Low Links, and treasurer for the Lake of the Woods Ladies and Friends Bowling League. Along with all of that, she has given 12 years of consistent volunteerism to the Lake of the Woods Ladies Golf Association. From 2005 to the present, she has been active, assuming almost every office and chair position in that organization. A year ago, she chaired 2 tournaments, the Member Tournament and the Lady Golf Association's Tournament for St. Jude Cancer. Her volunteer activities have enhanced the lives of many lake residents as well as others outside our community. Would Pat Schrader please come forward? The feral cat population of Orange County was growing wild, and the human population was growing angry, and the animal control would not deal with the cats. Our next nominee was one of the members of Orange County Humane Society, propose, implement, and operate a trap, neuter, return program to humanely control the feral and unowned stray cat population of Orange County. She researched and ordered the necessary humane traps, talked to local veterinarians to negotiate reduced costs to spay and neuter cats, solicited grants and donations, educated and sometimes cajoled people into working with her on this project. She has now expanded the project by organizing a low-cost spay-neuter program for pet owners in Orange County who cannot afford regular veterinary care. Terry Smith, would you please come forward? The Community Service Organization Group Award recognizes the Lake of the Woods Club that provides a great impact or service to Lake of the Woods and surrounding communities. The nominations for the Community Service Group Award for 2017 were so exceptional and the organization's services so strong that the Honor Awards Committee felt compelled to offer 2 awards in this category instead of 1. The first recipient has been in existence here at the Lake of the Woods for 35 years. Over the years, it has focused on being a strong community partner in many diverse ways with Orange County schools, and of course, the Lake of the Woods. To these partners, it has offered art demonstrations, art classes and workshops, and art shows and sales. School projects in Orange County and the Art Center in Orange and the Low Players have been enhanced through their monetary donations. Over the past 11 years, this group has donated $11,650 in support of these programs, as well as their time and talent to the Low Players by painting scenery and backdrop on their stage productions. Would Jan Moore, President of the Lake of the Woods Visual Arts Council, please come forward to accept this first Community Service Organization Group Award in 2017. The second Community Service Organization Group Award in 2017 was organized in 2011. They have no dues, no membership roster, no requirements to attend meetings or volunteer their services. Their only mission is centered from their common passion, to tell the story of the Battle of the Wilderness of May of 1864, as well as other tales of the Civil War. To that end, this group of volunteers has developed projects, raised the money to pay for them, and donated their time and resources. Among their contributions have been 3 historical panels, one in Spotswood Park, one at the Woods Center, and one at Cornwallis Beach. A monument to the fallen at the edge of the Lake of the Woods Church parking lot that abuts the Battlefield Park. 2 stone posts with brass plate markers identifying the historic Apperson and Spotswood family cemeteries. 2 interpretive panels, one at Spotswood Cemetery and one of the Apperson family. A self-guided driving tour of the historical areas in Lake of the Woods, and a large lending library of books associated with the Civil War. Would Charles Brewer, president of the Civil War Study Group, please come forward to accept this on behalf of your organization. President Larry Moreland will present the next awards, the Warren J. Lodge Award for Excellence, the President's Awards, and acknowledgement to outgoing board members. President Moreland.
She doesn't run out of words, I can tell you. You may think so, it's just a start. The Warren J. Lodge Award for Excellence is granted to a single individual who has distinguished him or herself in service as a representative of Lake of the Woods to all of Orange County. This year's recipient has done so very much to promote and enhance a positive image of our lake in the Commonwealth and the surrounding communities. As a longtime member of the Lake of the Woods External Affairs Committee, he meticulously tracks and influences outside proposals and actions that might affect the lake. These include state and county legislative proposals, Orange County school activities, Germanna Wilderness Plan, ad hoc activities, and so on and so forth. He has served as the lake liaison to the Orange County Broadband Authority and also leading an effort to market the Lake of the Woods to potential home buyers, an initiative that ultimately will protect and enhance the property values for all families. He continues to serve on the Low Civic Club and regularly arranges for state and local officials to present updates to the community. He has served on the Lake's Board of Directors, including the year as president, has been a dedicated member of other committees such as Planning, Finance, External Affairs. He was appointed to the Germanna Community College Board, the James Madison Museum Board, the Orange County Education Foundation, the Orange County Economic Development Authority, and the Orange County Economic Development Partnership Group. Wow. And he currently serves as president of the Orange County Chamber of Commerce. He has dedicated his many leadership and business skills to this community through many hours of service. In doing so, he has demonstrated his commitment to make Lake of the Woods, both inside and outside the gate, a better place to live. Doug Rogers, would you please come forward and accept the Warren J. Lodge Award? For this year, I've created a special President's Club Award to honor a special club's efforts in this 50th anniversary year. 2 individuals specifically within this group were responsible for the contributions during this anniversary year. The Woodworkers Club was asked to consider designing and building a display case for the 50th anniversary celebration. Not only did the club agree to take on the project, they built 2. both outstanding display cases that you may have seen on location in the President's room at the clubhouse. One of the individuals volunteered to manage this project. He researched, obtained all the materials, coordinated the stain, determined the amount of glass, managed both the schedule and the installation, and also led the renovation and refinishing of an antique store display that we used for our 50th anniversary celebration. It was now located in the member services area of the Holcomb building. Glenn Smith, would you please come forward? I was able to witness the gentlemen all working on this one day or two down in there, and it's really fantastic. The second individual donated his own private woodworking space and equipment for these projects, as well as other projects taken on by the Woodworkers Club. As president for 3 years, he has facilitated many contributions to the lake, building handicap bridge, refurbishing chairs, the clubhouse grill, fairways grill, refurbishing benches, the list goes on. And we appreciate all that. And would Hal Woods please come forward? I'll have deals for Hal to give to his woodworking club as well, if you would mind taking those to him. I wasn't quite prepared as my wife was, which is not unusual. Since 2012, a President's Award is presented to recognize the outstanding leadership of one individual from the past year within the lake. And while often difficult to select just one individual, this year's choice basically was an easy one. This year's recipient stepped in to fill a complex and far-reaching need in the Lake of the Woods, the celebration of a major community milestone. He was instrumental in unifying the community for a common purpose. His passion in believing and espousing how blessed we are to live here was carried forth. He recruited a group, and a talented group of Type A volunteers for his steering committee and channeled their energies and talents to achieve incredible results. Though he would often say it's just them, no, in this case it was him and driving them. He excelled in every facet of leadership, from motivating to organizing to cajoling to communicating. His positive attitude, integrity, and passion ensured that every activity was carried out successfully. Instead of planting one flag on a hill, his skills enabled the raising of multiple 50th anniversary banners throughout the Lake of the Woods and in Orange County as we started the year with the presentation at the museum in Madison. His confidence and celebration, while it's successful, never wavered, and it continues to this day as we're now getting ready to do a wine tasting festival. So the far-reaching events for the 50th anniversary, and this will be the most successful volunteer endeavor in the history of the Lake of the Woods. John Anderson, would you please come forward to accept this presentation? John, for you to give to individual members, so they'll take those back there too. Thank you so much. Just a couple more here are outstanding for our board members. Carl Clausen is completing his one-year term as a member of Lake of the Woods Board of Directors. As I'm sure you remember, Carl had to run twice to run in this current position and is currently running for re-election. 3 election races in 1 year, a record. As a board member, he's been liaison to the ECC, Maintenance Ecology, and the Equestrian Committee. He is an Eagle Scout, a member of Lowlink, and a member of the Lions Club. His career was as a contractor, and since his retirement, he has a small home repair business within the lake. Carl, would you come forward and receive this gift for your year of service on the Board of Directors? Don't mention it, you want that. Joanne Zwicky is completing her 3-year term as a member and treasurer for the Lake of the Woods Board of Directors. Prior to serving on the board, Joanne served on the planning and clubhouse committees, all that after having served 25 years as a property manager for a number of homeowners associations. She will be missed because of her many accomplishments as a member of the board, the adjusted funding that we talked about earlier that Phil talked about, and the work with our Finance Committee, our clean audits, all of these things she worked very hard on. Working previously with Larry Cole and now with Roy Mayberry, financial directors, she's exerted great influence on the policy changes and helped spearhead clean audits for 3 years. Her soft-spoken confidence and demeanor rubbed off, helping all of us to be more patient and more thoughtful. I will miss having Joanne sitting next to me as she helped keep me on the agenda and to keep things going. And that's very important. Joanne, would you please come forward and receive this parting gift and our heartfelt thanks.
One final award. It is customary to give an award to the outgoing board president, the ultimate volunteer in Lake of the Woods, President Larry Moreland. The amount of service hours that Larry puts in is staggering. You can't even imagine. But he has loved it, all of it, the easy, the thought-provoking, and the challenging. As president, he always maintained a driving passion to do the job and do it proud, and that he has. Thank you, Larry. I'm not through talking. Take your time. As we conclude the program, let us think for a moment. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment are the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. So here's to you, volunteers, dedicated people who believe in all work and no pay, willing to be paid in smiles. Have you had a kindness shown? Pass it on. 'Twas not given for thee alone, so pass it on. Let's travel down the years, let it wipe another's tears, till in heaven the deed appears. Pass it on. Thank you for joining us in this celebration of volunteerism in Lake of the Woods community. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, I think this one's on. I've just been running around, catch my breath. I don't know if we announced at the beginning about the hot dog cookout behind the pavilion afterwards, $5, all you can eat. So those of you that want to take part in the hot dog cookout, which we think some of the people have been doing. Now before we do anything else, we have a few questions we've received from the audience.
Are there any, Larry, would you like to have Jennifer assist, or how would you like to
Yeah,
answer the
Jennifer, would you
question?
assist, please?
Okay. Do we have any other questions that be passed in for the members? We had some member cards out there earlier. Any others? You have one? You can pass it in. Larry, Roy?
Just bring it up, please. Yeah, you got it.
Roy, could you pick them up? Okay, I'll take on some of these, and then Jennifer, would you like to come up here and tag team on these, please? We'll start with some of the specific ones, and we'll go to the more general one. There were some about the clubhouse area recreation complex project, and that we'll end with that one. The first one was had to do with charges that the ECC charges. Why is there a difference in the filing fee between a 150 square foot shed at $45 and a 151 square foot shed at $70? All plans get the same review regardless of size. And the answer is, when you go to 151, you actually have to have a concrete slab, and so it's more of an addition to the building rather than just a plain old shed. So I hope that's helpful. We can talk afterwards with the person that submitted this if you'd like to talk more. The second one was, why are the bylaws and SOPs available to all residents? Where can we receive them? No, I did not receive them at settlement. Okay, first of all, our LOA.org webpage has all our governing documents. You can find it under Administration tab, Governing Documents. And something that you might find interesting is at settlement, you have to request a resale package. If you don't request the resale package, we don't necessarily send it to you. So your realtor has to request the resale package, and we'll include all the governing documents in that. And it's pretty extensive. We do an inspection of your lot, and we talk about your standing as far as financials go, and your lot, whether it meets all the requirements. And then on top of that, we have all the governing documents. We have 3 months of board minutes, so they can sit down and read 3 months of board minutes if they'd like to. It's extensive. So that's where you get it. You get it from your real estate agent, or you can get it from LOA.org. All right. And if you have further questions, if you could see me afterwards. All right. The third one. Well, do you want to take on the CARC one while I look at this one? I need to read this one over.
Absolutely.
All right. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Okay, we have 3 questions from one member. It says, why do you hold question cards up for 1 second and expect people to come back and get them after the meeting starts? Why not have a table with cards? Ask questions here. That is an excellent suggestion. Next year, we will have the cards at the table, and you can pick up a card if you have a question.
We did have them at the cards, but they were sort of blended in with the white paper, so you may have missed that.
Anyway, we'll try to do a better job so that you can all see the cards. The next question, why is a referendum not necessary for a potential $5 to $7 million project, especially one with no upper cost posted? This is one we're getting a lot of questions about. But the reason is, when you elect a board, you elect people to act on your behalf. And I can assure you, we have looked at so many documents and given so much thought to everything that we've been doing this year. I would also like to say that when you elect your officers, that's where you choose the people who you think are going to act on your behalf. People say that, why can't we have a survey? Well, the way we have surveys set up now, people can send in more than one vote on their surveys. The only survey that went out this year was how to finance the project, not whether we're going to do the project. And let's see, the third question is, you say the majority endorsed the pool project, but talking with locals indicates the opposite. Why not let homeowners vote? So far, the responses that we've received from members the people who are for the project exceeds those who are against the project. I'm not going to go into numbers, but that's what the feedback that we are getting. And there's no, it says the fourth question. Actually, there's 5 questions. Fourth question. Most people are opposed to a project with no actual cost number. What is the potential upper cost? We have capped the project at $5 million, and we are still looking for ways to cut back on the cost. So we've already lowered the amount from $7.2 million to $5 million. We're doing our best to take the cost down. We're also doing our best to provide financial options for financing it that will not put undue pressure on members who are under financial stress. 5th question. What are the other potential issues besides pool complex that need addressing? Well, and this person lists roads, drainage, horse center, golf. Those costs are already covered. We've got those, the reserves, and as Phil said with the financials, we've got those covered. The big project is the pool, clubhouse area pool recreation complex. That's their big project.
Thank you for taking that one on. It was quite a long one, and it's always it's helpful to remember that with the board of directors, there's an election every year. You can determine who sits on the board every year, and the people that run for the board have positions that they're for or against, and we have forums to help you learn about what their positions are. So really, our best check and balance of the whole association is the annual election. And then, of course, our annual budget process is another great way that members can have input. And we've certainly had a lot of meetings around this project, and there'll be many, many more. There are many more decisions to be made. There's a long way to go. This project is just in design stage. Okay, I have 2 more things, and then we'll be finished with the questions. The next one is about fairways and natural lighting. The concern is about the fluorescent lights there, and could we get some more incandescent lightings? And we can look at that. Absolutely, you know, fairways is grown beyond our wildest dreams of what we thought it would be. It's getting used further than we thought it would. So we'd be glad to look at that to see if we can look at a difference in lighting on that. And the last one is a plug for the Low Sailing Club fall races that start next Saturday. You don't have to have your own boat or pony to join and enjoy fellow boaters. So you got that one in there. So that concludes our questions and answers session.
I thank Jenna for stepping in for me. I don't know if any of you else also have. I have Meniere's, and all of a sudden I got the ringing and the dizziness, so I had to step down for a minute till I got that under control. So I apologize, but I thank Jennifer very much for stepping up for that. Yeah, I got to put some weight back on for that, I think. Anyway, the announcements of the next meetings, Wednesday, September 6th, is the reconstitution meeting, where we'll be seating the new board members and electing officers and setting the board calendar. Special meeting of the board retreat, September 12th and 13th. We retreat for the board, and we'll have our legal briefing. And then our first regular board of directors meeting with the new board is September 20th. At 2 p.m. here in the community center. At this point, I announce the close of the voting, and so they can close the voting parts and begin to put that together. And with that, we're adjourned. Thank you again for being here.